Hello, all you freedom-loving people. Welcome to another episode of Front Page. I'm your host, Scott Cameron Goulet. Today, we have some important updates on the indictment of President Trump for the January 6th case. President Trump's team is calling for a change of venue, and they plan to recuse the judge. The special prosecutor might believe that his most valuable evidence is the testimony of former Vice President Mike Pence. However, President Trump's attorneys believe that Pence's testimony will prove President Trump's innocence. A former legislator who had previously supported the impeachment of President Trump found the new indictment legally untenable, even though he strongly disapproved of President Trump's actions in the lead-up to the January 6th incident. The Elon Musk Mark Zuckerberg cage fight, which sounded like a joke, could actually be real. Musk says that the fight will be broadcast live, and he's hired top coaches to train him. But I'm guessing that his opponent isn't in a very good mood since Zuckerberg is fretting about his metaverse. Musk also invited his subscribers to join him in a legal battle against the far left. If you do, he will pay the legal bill. Okay, let's get into it. President Trump has called for the recusal of the judge who was assigned to his case related to the January 6, 2021 Capitol event. U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan has been assigned to preside over this case. President Trump posted on True Social on Sunday, "There is no way I can get a fair trial with the judge assigned to the ridiculous freedom of speech, fair elections case. Everybody knows this, and so does she. We will be immediately asking for a recusal of this judge on very powerful grounds, and likewise for venue change out of D.C. This weekend, Judge Tanya Chutkan showed signs that she will be very harsh on President Trump. On August 4th, Special Counsel Jack Smith asked Judge Chutkan to issue a protective order in light of a post made by President Trump. On that day, President Trump posted on True Social, "If you go after me, I'm going after you." Smith then urged Judge Chutkan to enter a protective order governing or restricting discovery or inspection of case details to restrict what President Trump can share publicly about the case and the evidence. The spokesperson for President Trump suggested that the post wasn't a retaliation against Smith's charges. The spokesperson said the truth post cited is the definition of political speech and was in response to the rhino, China-loving, dishonest special interest groups and super PACs like the ones funded by the Koch brothers and the Club for No Growth. President Trump's lawyers had requested until August 10th to submit a response to Smith's request. Judge Chutkan rejected the bid and gave President Trump's attorneys an August 7th deadline to respond. President Trump's attorney, John Lauro, argued that the prosecutors are acting in a way that they don't want the American public to see the truth. By requesting a protective order, the prosecutors are trying to keep important information about the case from the media. He also urged that President Trump's January 6th Capitol trial be televised. He said that Americans should see the trial process so that the American people can see every minute of it and make their own decisions. Former Vice President Mike Pence said on Sunday that he does not plan to testify at President Trump's 2020 election trial, but he did not rule out the possibility of becoming a prosecution witness if asked to do so. Pence finally admitted on Sunday that after initially challenging a subpoena from Special Counsel Jack Smith, Pence ended up testifying before a federal grand jury in April. The grand jury filed a criminal lawsuit against President Trump on August 1st regarding Jack Smith's investigation into the 2020 election. He charged President Trump with 4 felony counts of conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct official proceedings, obstruction and attempted obstruction of official proceedings, and conspiracy to violate rights. That's a lot of conspiracy. John Lauro, President Trump's attorney, said that he would welcome the former vice president's testimony if he decided to testify. In a series of television interviews on Sunday, John Lauro said that any action that President Trump took after the 2020 election is protected by free speech. In his appearance on CBS, Lauro said that he believes that Pence will be our best witness. His testimony could prove that President Trump followed expert legal advice in seeking to challenge the results, but President Trump had no criminal intent in his actions. Lauro said that the reason why Vice President Pence will be so important to the defense is, number one, he agrees that John Eastman, who gave legal advice to President Trump, was an esteemed legal scholar. Lauro added that, number two, he agrees that there were unlawful actions at the state level. All of that will eviscerate any allegations of criminal intent on the part of President Trump. Lauro added that there was a constitutional disagreement between President Trump and Mike Pence over whether the then vice president had the legal authority to reject questionable electoral votes and to kick the issue back to the states for further debate or audit. Ultimately, the lawyer said what President Trump wanted Pence to do on January 6th was not to return the election results, but to stop counting electoral votes for further debate at the state level. Lauro said the ultimate task of Vice President Pence was to pause the counts and to allow the states to weigh in. During an interview on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday, when anchor Chuck Todd asked if Pence was just disputing the version of events that Lauro was describing, Lauro replied, no, not at all. He's substantiating it in this respect. There were some preliminary discussions along the lines that Vice President Pence described. But the ultimate task, which was done at the ellipse, was to pause the voting for a period of time. Now, issues like this get discussed and thrashed about all the time, but the ultimate call made by President Trump was to ask for a pause. If you read Vice President Pence's book, he agrees completely with President Trump that there were these anomalies, discrepancies, even fraud in the election. Vice President Pence wanted those debated in Congress. President Trump asked that they be debated at the state legislature. So you had a disagreement there. But once again, these constitutional and statutory disagreements don't lead to criminal charges. Lauro rejected the notion that President Trump would plead guilty under any circumstances and that his defense team will seek a motion to dismiss the case. Meanwhile, Mike Pence said recently that he's unsure whether or not President Trump actually committed any crime in relation to the January 6th Capitol breach. Pence said in an interview with Fox News that, I don't know, honestly, I don't know the full case that the government has. I think I've said on your network many times that I don't know if taking bad advice from lawyers is a crime. Again, during the CBS interview, Pence said that he's not sure whether the criminal indictment against President Trump is a political persecution, but he was very concerned about politicization at the Justice Department for years. President Trump's attorney, John Lauro, also pointed out during the NBC interview that Mike Pence never accused President Trump of committing any crime. Lauro said that one thing that Mr. Pence has never said is that he thought President Trump was acting criminally. Indeed, Pence is an attorney. Lauro also said if he at any point said or thought that President Trump was acting unlawfully or contrary to criminal law, then he would have said that. No one ever suggested that. The host, Chuck Todd, said the president asked him to violate the Constitution, which is another way of saying that he asked him to break the law. Lauro said, no, that's wrong. A technical violation of the Constitution is not a violation of criminal law. That's just plain wrong. And to say that is contrary to decades of legal statute. Justin Amish, who is a former representative of Michigan and a noted anti-Trump Republican who later switched over to the Libertarian Party, posted a long message in his Twitter or his X account on Sunday. Amish said that the latest indictment of President Trump essentially criticizes President Trump for his political actions that the Democrats disagreed with. Amish said that I may not like Trump, but I love our Constitution, so I feel compelled to speak out. The latest indictment, which I encourage everyone to read, attempts to criminalize Trump's routine misstatements of fact and law in connection with the 2020 election. But this is precisely the sort of wrong that must be addressed politically under our Constitution, not criminally. He also pointed out that over the years, numerous presidents have made very questionable decisions, from waging war to spying on Americans with virtually no legal repercussions. He continued by saying that our system can't survive if political disputes are removed to the criminal realm. There's no limiting principle to such an approach. Amish also said, "Remind me again which former presidents have been indicted for going to war without congressional approval, for spying on Americans in violation of the Fourth Amendment, for abusing emergency declarations to bypass checks and balances, or for ignoring legal advisors to pursue a clearly unlawful policy." Keep in mind that Amish supported the impeachment of President Trump during his tenure in the White House. Of course, he strongly disagreed with President Trump's actions in the lead up to January 6th, but he believes that the American people and the political system should be the final arbiter on that. He said that we don't criminalize these actions, egregious as they are, because they are matters of political contention. We're allowed to disagree about the workings of our constitutional system without fear of criminal reprisal. Before we move on, I want to take a moment to thank you all for your support of Front Page. Every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, we thank you, but please double check to make sure that you are still subscribed, because some of our audience have reported that they're somehow unsubscribed without their knowledge. Okay, let's get back into it. Since June, two American moguls, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, have been urging each other to take part in a cage fight in Las Vegas. So, was it a joke or is it serious? There are different answers, but apparently Musk is serious. On Sunday, he announced that the duel would not only take place, but that it would be broadcast live on Twitter, soon to be known as X. Musk tweeted, "Zuck versus Musk fight will be live streamed on X. All proceeds will go to charity for veterans." However, no further details were disclosed. Twitter CEO Lina Yaccarino retweeted Musk's tweet with a passionate tweet saying that she was clearing her schedule. But it's clear that Musk has been actively preparing for the fight for the last 2 months. Lex Friedman, a computer scientist who is proficient in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, has tweeted that Musk has practiced fighting with him. He said in a June 27th post, "I did an impromptu training session with Elon Musk for a few hours yesterday, so it looks like Elon Musk isn't as weak as we thought." Friedman was very impressed by Musk's strength and skills. Friedman said, "I'm extremely impressed with his strength, power, and skills on the feet and on the ground. It was epic." Musk was also seen attending a training session with former UFC champion Georges St-Pierre in July. Georges St-Pierre is considered to be one of the greatest ever mixed martial artists. He won titles in 2 weight divisions before retiring in 2029. Friedman also posted, "Had a great training session with Elon Musk, Georges St-Pierre, and John Danaher last night. Everything about this was epic." Elon Musk replied, "Really fun. The obvious conclusion is that I need a lot more training." Earlier on Sunday, Musk said on X that he had been lifting weights all day in order to prepare for the battle. Of course, he didn't stop working, he just trained with weights in between jobs. But I don't know if Mark Zuckerberg is in the mood to prepare for this fight right now, because Meta is in a very bad financial situation. You may ask how Meta lost money in the second quarter when it reported decent total revenue numbers at the end of July. Indeed, on the face of it, Meta's second quarter total revenues was about $32 billion, with a net profit of about $7.78 billion and a 16% revenue growth rate. But if we take a closer look at the department's numbers, we see that Meta's virtual reality division, Reality Labs, is losing money. Its second quarter sales were $276 million and its operating loss was $3.7 billion. Its loss for the first half of the year was $7.6 billion compared to a total loss of $13.7 billion last year. In order to do so, Meta hoped to make up for and salvage its losses by launching its own AI chatbot and Threads, but it didn't work out well. In contrast, Twitter, or X, which has been widely reported to be seeing a decrease in ad revenue, has some good news coming out of it. At the end of last month, Musk said that the number of monthly users on X had reached a new high. Musk shared a chart showing that the latest numbers of users exceeded 540 million. Not only is Elon Musk fighting Mark Zuckerberg himself, but he's also encouraging Platform X users to fight their employers, not physically of course, but legally, if they're being discriminated against for posting on Platform X. Elon Musk announced a new policy on Saturday night that his social media company X will fund lawsuits against employers who treat users unfairly for posting or liking content on X. This new policy is likely related to the controversy that is surrounding the first-year NASCAR driver Noah Gragson. The 25-year-old driver was suspended by NASCAR and by the Legacy Motor Club, LMC, for liking a meme that mocked George Floyd. LMC initially announced the suspension, and NASCAR claimed that Gragson violated the member conduct section of its rule book, but they did not provide any specifics. So Musk announced, if you were unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill. No limit. Please let us know. Musk further promised that such lawsuits would unfold on a large scale, not only against the company, but also against its board of directors. Musk said, and we won't just sue, it will be extremely loud, and we will go after the board of directors of the companies too. In the wake of Musk's announcement, a number of high-profile X users and regular users shared their own experiences or others' experiences of being treated unfairly by their employers as a result of their social media activity, mainly for expressing views that challenge the narrative or the woke ideology. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for your support of Front Page. Please remember that every like, comment, and share helps more people to see the truth. We've also heard from many of our viewers that they don't get notifications of our videos anymore on YouTube, so please follow us on Telegram, Gab, Getter, True Social, Twitter, and on Ganjing World for the latest updates. Okay, this is our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard today, please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family, because everybody deserves to know the truth. Again, thank you for watching Front Page, and we will see you next time.